Okay, are we ready to do this? Let's see, let's pull everything out that we need. I can't believe we're back already. Well, not already, I mean, it's been a long time. Okay. Alright, you ready, Squish? Are you ready, Squish? Okay. Hi! I'm back, Stitches. Get it? Stitches instead of the other word. Hey everybody. Welcome to another episode, finally, of Juniper GraceTube. I am your lovely host, Juniper Grace. I'm coming to you from Vancouver Island, Canada, Victoria on Vancouver Island, on the west coast of Canadian land. And we have a special addition to the podcast. Her name is Sarah Piper. And you can follow her adventures on Instagram. Well, really, that is my Instagram feed now. You can find me on Instagram as Juniper Grace. You can find me on Ravelry as Juniper Grace. You can also find the Ravelry group for the good old podcast as JuniperGraceTube on Ravelry. And on Twitter, I'm GRaceFace. G-E Raceface. I was in college. But basically, if you follow me on Instagram, then you will get the exact same stuff on the Twitter, because I like the Instagram and not really the Twitter, because I like sharing pictures. And I know there's twit pics and stuff, but Instagram is like so visually excellent. Okay, so confession. I totally shot this entire episode already. When there was actually nice daylight and things like that. But my camera kept turning off on me, and I lost the entire last half of the episode, and it was kind of rushed and crazy, and I didn't feel like I knew what I was talking about. So I redid it. Not that you would have known any different, even if I hadn't mentioned it. But, you know, in just all honesty. I'm so glad to be back. Oh my word. I apologize to all the people that missed me. I missed you too, just so you know. But life got a little bit crazy, and reality for this Juniper Grace was that she had to take a break. And I'm sorry that I didn't give you guys warning, and I'm sorry that I just kind of disappeared. But I am very thankful that I took the break, because look what I made. I made a tiny human. With my husband's help and God's help and all those wonderful things, made Tiny Human and took a little break and figured out what I wanted to do with this podcast and how I wanted it to be, because I feel like I lost a little bit of who I was or why I was podcasting. Kind of trying to keep up with the Joneses, like trying to do too many things that you know, weren't necessarily me or mine, or I don't know. Maybe you didn't even notice, but I just felt just out of sync. But I think more than just the podcast, it was life was a little crazy. And, but then I had a baby, my little beautiful co-host, Sarah Piper. Here, I'll go like this. She looks so worried. Sarah, do you see the computer, baby? Yeah, she looks really... We call her Squishy. I really hope she knows that her name is actually Sarah and not Squishy. But yeah, so we had a baby, and let's see, details. She was born August 10th. I had to be induced because she was being predicted at 12 pounds, which is terrifying. I don't know. I had a healthy pregnancy. I didn't have gestational diabetes or anything. I guess I just make really big, healthy, beautiful babies. But yeah, so they decided to induce me, and then I had about 27 hours of labor. I pushed for 2.5, and she got stuck on her little cheekbones, and so we were like, okay, we're gonna have to do a C-section. So I got one. It wasn't what I wanted, but she's healthy. And my team that helped me, my midwife and everybody that was there, were so amazing that I don't look back at it with any kind of regret or frustration. I look at it like it was necessary, and I'm alive and happy and healthy. She's alive and happy and healthy, and so if that's how it had to be, it had to be. And now I've got a beautiful, beautiful baby girl, which is amazing. She was 11 pounds 4 ounces at birth, 21 inches long. So it's really funny because my mom always talked about me when I was born. I was 8 pounds 13 ounces and 23 inches long. And she talked about how big of a baby I was. And and I've held some 8-pound babies, and it feels like nothing. Now she's about probably over 17 pounds. But again, totally growing at a normal, healthy rate. I think she looks very well proportioned for a little baby. Right, Squish? See? She's so cute. And she's very good at looking very serious, like her dad. Very serious. I swear she does smile. So yeah, that was like the big life thing that I did. And it's funny when you go through such a huge life change that you kind of reevaluate everything. We also managed to move 10 days before she was born. We were looking, I swear, we started looking for houses the minute we found out I was pregnant. And it took us until literally a week before she was born that we were able to move in. We moved in the last day of July. And so I'm coming to you from our bedroom because that's just where all the setup is, and the best light was earlier today when I thought I had properly recorded. So you have these big life events and changes in your life, and then all of a sudden you start to reevaluate and think of things like, what do I want to do with my life, and what do I want to be, and that kind of thing. And in the back of my mind, it's always been, I love to podcast. I've always loved podcasting ever since I started. You know, people joke that I could talk the hind legs off a donkey, and probably I can. But it's because it's just something that I love to talk. Yes. No, I love connecting. I love just this community that forms around this medium of vlogging and sharing your life. And it's cool to go back and record and see the things that happen in my life. So, okay, where to begin? So many things to tell you. So, I've started this thing recently where when I have my birthday, I make a New Year's resolution. It's a new year of life resolution as opposed to like a 2017 resolution, yada yada. I mean, I still kind of do that for the beginning of the actual year, but it's kind of fun to do it for my life years as well. For a few years, I've been doing the one little word where you pick one word for the year, kind of like your theme. Like last year was ignite, which was really cool. And then I also do a list of things to do before my next birthday. So this year I'm doing 32 things to do before I turn 33. And each year you're allowed to roll over things like for example, for the last, I don't even know how, 7 years I've had get a tattoo on my list. And I figured now that I've gone through childbirth, I cannot wuss out and complain that a tattoo is scary because it's nothing like having a baby. So that's maybe gonna happen. I was thinking like a yarn ball or something really cool like that, and to me it's super cool. Or like knit life on my no, I'm just kidding. I won't get knuckle tattoos. Yeah. I don't know. And oh my gosh, the older you get, the more things you have to think of on the list. Takes a while. If anybody has any suggestions for, we should do that. I'll make a thread where we can share whatever our list of things to do before our next birthday is. That would be really cool to get some inspiration from each other, because I could use a couple of cool ideas. And it can be tiny things like buy myself a tube of mascara, or do you know what I mean? Like something that you haven't done in a long time, or something that you've always been wanting to do, or just something quirky and out of the ordinary, like brush my teeth in the shower just to see what it feels like. And by the way, that does feel great. It like brightens your whole face up, and it saves time. Who would have thought? Yeah, I don't know. That's a weird thought. total tangent. When I was in university, we did this teaching class, and our teacher, he gave us the month of February. We had to grab a calendar page and do one new or different thing each day, and it could be as little as brush your teeth in the shower, or take something out of your routine and put it somewhere else. Like if you always I don't know, paint your nails on a Monday, paint them on a Tuesday instead. That was a horrible example, but excuse me, it was one of my roommates that said brush your teeth in the shower, and I was like, I've never done that before. And I did, and it was like your whole face feels fresh. Like it's kind of weird and exciting. So that's the tangent. Anyways, okay, so new life year resolutions, new year of life. I don't even know. That's a really awkward way to say that. It's like, yeah, new life resolutions. Anyways, I have a few of those, and because I sit and especially this year, this birthday was so interesting. I was like, I am in such a different place than I've ever been before. And one last thing, before I tell you exactly what the resolutions are, because you're like, all right, Grace, let's get with it. Tell us the resolution, and I will. But the other last. This is like all of the build up to understand where I'm coming from and what has inspired me. Is this video blogger, Casey Neistat, Casey Neistat. Neistat. He is coming from New York, and he did this thing when he turned 34. He decided to start vlogging, making a video every single day. And he did it for, I don't even know, actually for about 2.5 years, almost 3, up until literally like a week ago. Right as I found him, he's like, I'm going to stop vlogging every day. I was like, am I bad luck? But good thing there's a lot of years to catch up, or a lot of episodes to catch up on. But anyways, it was just so inspiring that he said, he's like, I've been getting stagnant and I haven't been doing the things that I love, which is making videos. And so I'm going to make a challenge to myself to do a video every day. No excuses. And literally, he did not miss a day. And I just listening to him, he was so inspiring. He did this one really cool illustration, which I think I'll link a picture to on the I'll link to the episode that he explains it as well. But he did this diagram that he got from somewhere else. But basically, it's like you. So this is you, this squishy hand. And then this squishy hand is everything you've wanted to do in life. And the only thing between you and everything you've wanted to do in life is doing it. Simple, but basically mind-blowing. And so, all of that to say, I've decided that my one little word for this year is do. D-O. So this is the year of do. And it's going to sound really weird if somebody's brand new and they've jumped in and they start watching 5 episodes down the road or whatever, and I'm like, under the year of do, they're going to be like, what? And I'll just reference back to this episode, I guess. So my one little word is do, and my New Year's life resolutions. 1, bring back the blog, or vlog, or podcast. And by that I mean, bring it back 1 episode every single week, the way I've always wanted it to be ever since the beginning. We are going to come to you not live. This isn't live. We're going to come to you once a week on Wednesdays. And I'm saying this, and I'm freaking mean it, because I've decided that that's just what I want to do. And the reason I've chosen Wednesdays is because that's her week of anniversaries. She was born on a Wednesday, August 10th. And so when this comes live, she will be 16 weeks old. And so each episode is, I think we're on episode 22. I should have looked before I started recording. Classic. But we're week 16. And I think that'll be a really cool way to record. I don't know if she'll always be in the podcast. We'll see. Some people are a little hairy and scared about posting their children's images and stuff. And I don't know exactly how I feel about that. I don't really see it as a breach of whatever privacy, because this is my life and I'm pretty open booked. But I also don't want to violate hers either, so we'll figure that out. But right now it's just easiest if I can hold her, and because she's more content in my arms. Say that and she's gonna start to fuss. But she's more content in my arms, and then I can do what I'm doing. So Anyways, Wednesdays, we're going to have a podcast. Now, I don't know if I'm gonna do this the same day or a different day, but I'm gonna do stories still. I'm gonna keep reading the stories because I loved that. That was such a way to continue reading books and get into it. And even if I didn't manage to pick up a book throughout the week, at least I'd read for the podcast. But it would make like a very long beginning to the podcast and a very long podcast to edit and to post and especially to upload. So I'm deciding to do slightly shorter episodes with a separate video of me reading. So we'll still read. We'll do story time with Auntie Juniper Grace, and so you can still play that for kids' bedtime or whichever. Except it'll just be easier for me to upload and keep all that going. So we're going to do that. I'm not 100% sure if I'll post them the same time as the podcast, or if I might do the podcast on Wednesdays and the stories on Friday or something. I don't know. I'll figure that out, and I promise I'll let you know. I guess you'll find out as well as we go. But they'll still be stories. They just won't be attached to the podcast. They'll just be in a separate video. Because, then you can easily decide, like, oh, I feel like a story right now, or, oh, I don't have time for the story, but I want to hear Grace yammer for a little while, so let's do that. So, okay, I think that's all that was one of the New Year resolution. The other New Year of Life resolution, the year of do, I have a couple things. So, I want to completely clear off my needles at least once. I don't know if it'll happen. I really hope it will. And I figure the only thing between me and doing everything I wanted to do is doing it. I just got to do it. So, and I tried. Before we found out if it was going to be a girl or a boy, I tried to completely clear off my needles just because I knew we'd be moving and I was sick and tired of all those guilty whips. And I really felt, and by whips, I mean works in progress, and I just really felt like I wanted to clean the palette and then start the baby knits. But the problem is, once I found out that she was a girl, I got a bunch of yarn and I got a bunch of patterns. But every time I sat down to knit, at that point in my pregnancy, I literally fell asleep. I'd knit like 2 or 3 stitches or 2 or 3 rows, and I'd be like, I'd just be asleep. And so everyone, it's really, really funny. Because everyone's like, oh, she must have the best knits ever. And I'm like, I made one sweater. That's it. And then it's really funny because my friends that are knitters, the majority, not all of them, the majority of my friends that are knitters sewed me something or like made like a blanket or something for her because they were like, oh, she's probably got tons of hand knit items. And she doesn't. I was lucky to make like a pair of socks for my stepdad and a couple pairs of socks for my husband for Christmas, and that was it. And then I just didn't knit. Actually, I really got into cross stitching because that kept me awake. I'm yawning. Hey, CB? It's okay. You can fall asleep. But yeah, so that's really funny. What else? Okay. So the podcast is going to be a little bit different. The other new life goal was I had to clear out my Ravelry inbox. Because when I stopped podcasting, truthfully, I got really burned out and I needed to just check out. And unfortunately, I feel like I didn't do it in an ideal way, but lots of times you can't do things in an ideal way. And so I just cut cold turkey. Like I stopped watching podcasts. I stopped looking at my Ravelry inbox. Everything knitting world related was overwhelming to me, so I just cut it off. I kept Instagram, but I just stopped because I just couldn't handle it, and it was really bad, and I miss it. And so I went back, and so like I was answering emails from like 2 years ago, messages from Ravelry. So if you guys got messages, I'm sorry, and for the giveaways that I never did and never sent, and I'm trying to make up for that. So if I owe you a giveaway and like you still remember it, it's like 2 years ago, I want to make it up to you. So just send me a message. And with my year of due, I also have the caveat reply. So I'm trying really hard to just do it. Like, as cheesy as that sounds, it's like the Nike logo, just do it. I want to do, and with that comes like reply. So respond, reply, make sure that I clearly communicate. So I think those are all the big life goals. Well, and also keep tiny human alive. Yeah, that's a pretty big, but it's not really a resolution. It's more of a, this is what we're doing now. Yeah, so the podcast will be a little bit different because, I've changed, you've changed, everyth's changed. The whole knitting world has changed. I came back and I went to Knit City in Vancouver at the beginning of October, and that really caught the knitting bug back. Like, I got my mojo back. I got really excited, and I just was like, that's it. I have to podcast. It's going to happen. So exciting. So, thank you. It was in part for Jenny from Lone Larch Designs. She has a podcast, which I didn't watch. Oh, I was so embarrassed. When I went to Knit City, it was so embarrassing because there were all these amazing podcasters that I didn't even know were podcasters. I knew Jenny was, but I also knew that I hadn't watched any of her stuff because, seriously, I'm not even kidding. I really cut out of the world. So, same with the Grocery Girls were at Knit City, and I'd only watched, a few of their episodes because my friend Julie from Martha's Vineyard, Inky077, she was like, oh, Grace, you have to watch these girls. They're so great. And she was always giving me great suggestions, but I was like, I just can't watch podcasts right now. I think what was happening is I had a massive, FOMO attack, where it's fear of missing out, FOMO, FOMO. I was like, I wanted to do everything. And when I watch these podcasts, I'm like, oh, I want to knit that. Oh, I want to knit that. Oh, I want that yarn. Oh, I want to knit that. Oh, I want that yarn too. And I just felt like I was losing track of just knitting what I wanted to knit. Knit what makes you happy. That's what Jenny always says. And so, anyways, going to Knit City, when I thought that I actually wouldn't be able to, or I didn't know, I didn't make any plans to go because, had a little human. And I didn't know if I'd be able to. And kind of out of the blue, I found out that Susan B. Anderson was coming out, and I love Susan. And I wanted to go see her, and I wanted to show her Sarah. And I didn't get to go to my big Maine knitting retreat this year, out in Maine, because of baby. And I just the stars aligned, and we went out and we stayed with my Auntie Meryl in Chilliwack, and then drove in to go to Knit City each day. And it was kind of crazy, and Sarah Piper hates the car seat. She finally like, yes. But she kind of hates the car seat. Oh, she woke up again. She hates the car seat and all these different things, and it was like, maybe I'm just completely insane for trying to do this, but I really want to. And then it just felt like Christmas. I ran into Jenny and Lara, who I had met at one of the earlier Knit Cities, I think about 2 years ago, and they came out from Alberta, and they were like, hey, and that was before Jenny was podcasting, and I just remember running into them, and they both gave me a hug, and Jenny gave me a kiss on the cheek, and she's just like, I'm so proud of you. You are, good job, Mom. And she's just oozed encouragement. And ooze is such a gross word, but it just felt like maybe an envelope. She enveloped me in encouragement and love and support, and it just felt so good. And I remember when I was pregnant and I was getting ready to have the baby, and I just felt like an imposter. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I love kids, but I just feel like I always felt like there's this kind of separation between me and people that are mums, because I feel like they would look at me and they're like, well, you don't know, you don't understand, you've never had a kid, and la la la. And then I thought when I had the kid, I would still feel like an outsider or an imposter. But boy, was I wrong. The sisterhood of mothers, it is incredible. It's like you go through labor, you go through pregnancy, then you go through labor, you go through delivery, in whatever way that you deliver, in whatever way that you labor. There is no judgment, only love, and just welcome to the club, and support and encouragement. And it's exciting now. When I walk down the street and I see somebody else with a little one, I'm just like, oh, you're part of the club. How are you doing? And I just want to hug them and encourage them and be like, you're so amazing. Look what you did. Look what we did. Aren't we kind of amazing? And yeah, there's people with opinions and people with advice and whatever, but even then, more than anything, when she's fussing, I feel like I see sympathetic voices and people, and when I have to nurse in public, I feel like people are like giving me high fives, and I like, good job, good for you, and I don't know, it's just cool, which is really, really cool. I like that. Okay, wow, I've spent a lot of time talking about absolutely no knitting. However, it's like, that's the point of a podcast. It's like, this is my life. Welcome to my life. And I guess that kind of counts as like my adventures with Juniper Grace. I'd like to have like segments and stuff, but we'll figure it out. I just chat, If you're returning after all of these years, if you're still here, if you're still here, then good on you. Thank you. I love you. You're the best. And if you're brand new, yes, come on over. We have fun. It's a lot of rambles, but that you'll get used to that, I guess. And if you don't like it, oh well. This is who I am. So yeah, so many exciting things. So so much to say. My mind is reeling. This is why the podcast is always so long. There's so much to say. But I figure if I podcast every week, potentially it won't be so crazy because at least I will have like gotten some of it out in shorter segments. So this one I have a lot to share because I've done a lot. However, I also couldn't find everything that I wanted to share with you. So that's good because that'll make it go for a little while. Okay, so let's start with looking at some beautiful yarn. So with the whole being away, oh sorry, I startled you. With the whole being away for a really long time from the knitting world, there's a lot of exciting things that have happened that I've just not been aware of. And actually, now that I have the baby and I got excited about it again, when she sleeps or, we're just cuddling on the couch, I've been kind of binge watching and catching up on all the different podcasts that I missed out on. Some have gone away, which makes me really sad, like Lena, A Wee Bit Nitty. I stopped watching, but then I was like, I wanted to binge watch, and she was like top of my list to binge watch, but she got rid of all of her episodes. And again, I totally understand why and where she's coming from, but my little heart is like, oh no, it's okay, Squish. I was just like, oh no, I just want to watch them all, because I just miss listening to her. And I don't know, podcasts feel like you're sitting down and having a cup of tea. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys to get a warm beverage. Rusty or what? Do you have your warm beverage? Do you have something delicious to drink and something to knit on? Sorry, I always forget. So anyways, catching up on all these podcasts, it's been exciting. So there's the one, the guy in Ontario, Eric, he, Sticks Plus Twine. Yes. It's a really cool podcast. I like it. He really reminds me of one of my good friends from back home in Edmonton. He like talks the same, just except my friend back home doesn't knit, but I feel like if he was a knitter, this would be him. So it's really cool to watch Sticks Plus Twine. But I remember from the very, very beginning, Eric when he was talking about things he got, he literally called it stuff I got. And I was like, that's amazing, because people call it acquisitions or they call it stash enhancement or whatever. But I just really think it's hilarious that he said stuff I got. And so I kind of want to steal that and make that, like, when I talk about my acquisitions, I just want to call it stuff I got. Maybe I should ask Eric if that's okay. I'm sure he'd be fine. He kind of abandoned it. Now he calls it acquisitions. So I'll be a little forager and pick up the lost title. Okay, so stuff I got. So I said I went to Knit City, and I don't have everything because Knit City was the beginning of October, and now it's almost the end of November, so it's been a little while. But I will share with you what I still have that I kept kind of in the same spot. So Knit City was a hoot. It's just, for those of you that have not heard of it or don't know about it, it's a big deal out here on the West Coast. A lot of people from Alberta come. It's been growing steadily. It's been going on for 5 years. This was the 5th year anniversary. And this year we had some people even from like vendors from Oregon, like Bumble Birch. We had the yarn shop from Edmonton, River City Yarns came. And I'm so bummed because all these amazing things are popping up in Edmonton and Alberta, which is where I'm from originally, after I don't live there anymore, of course. River City Yarns has been there for a long time, but what I remember from River City Yarns, which, again, about 10 years ago, is when I lived in Edmonton. Wow. Is it seriously 10? How am I old enough to... Anyways, that's totally different. That's a different topic. But it sold like eyelash yarn and like fun fur yarn and like old lady yarn. That's really awkward and horrible. I'm so sorry I said that. If you like eyelash yarn, no judgment, man. Like, knit with what you love. Like, I've even knit with it because sometimes it's really fun. But it wasn't like, now it's become this, like, they carry Madeline Tosh and Sweet Georgia and all these amazing yarns that I'm like, dude, like, I couldn't get this when I was in Edmonton. So I'm going to Edmonton at the beginning of December, the second weekend of December, to visit family and visit friends, bring in Sarah Piper, and we're definitely going to River City Yarns. Okay, that was so tangent. Okay, stuff I got. So we went to Knit City, and I got stuff, because I was like, hey man, this is Yarny Christmas. So one of the vendors I was super excited to see, because the grocery girls are like always talking about her. It's Yarn Inc. Art on String. Oh my gosh, I like beeline for her booth. Like, look at this. Okay, so you know what? In this lighting, that's not even that bad. It's a little bit like brighter in real life, but that's actually pretty good. This colorway is called Bumble, and this is her classic sock, which is 463 yards, which is like really generous for 100 grams, and 75% superwash merino and 25% nylon. And it's soft, but it's not the kind of soft that you feel like is just gonna pill and disappear on you. Like, as, what is it, Stephanie Pearl McPhee says, that those pearls are your sweater leaving in, or not pearls, pills, P-I-L, whatever, are your sweater leaving in slow motion. Right? Because it's like, that's literally, like, those don't just come out of nowhere. That's actual fiber disappearing from your garment. Hilarious. This won't pill. So I don't know if I want to make socks out of it, though, because it was not the cheapest in the whole entire world. Okay, I disappear for a little while, come back, and fancy yarn or like indie dyed yarn is now like $30 a skein. I mean, that's Canadian, so like that's what, like $2 American. But seriously, like, not cheap, but totally beautiful and totally worth it. And I get it because it's a lot of work. But so Yarn Inc. I totally jazzed about this, and I also scored a little mini. Yeah, that's actually pretty accurate. It's the birch colorway, so it's, I don't know if you can see the green, like where the little speckles are. It's like blue and green, sort of. Maybe just blue. I can't even see it in this light. Oh dear. It's a bad lighting for... I promise the podcast will be natural lit next time. But I made myself a promise, and I made, well, basically you guys a promise every Wednesday, and I was going to put it out last Wednesday, but I had my craft fair, which was a bad time for me to decide to try to podcast again, like, just realistically. So I abandoned efforts for last week and decided this week, no excuses. So the fact that I'm re-recording and it's basically nighttime and I'm doing it by, like, side lamp, no excuses, Grace. No excuses. So here's the birch colorway, which just, again, beautiful. I wanted a full skein of this, but she was sold out by the time I got there. That's okay. Totally fine. So Yarn Inc. The other thing that was on my list from basically last year, because last year I didn't manage to get to Knit City, was my friend Catherine of Caterpillar Green Yarns. She makes the self-striping shawl yarn that is basically genius. Like, literally any shawl, and it just, like, perfectly stripes. Magical. And she did the official Knit City colorway last year, called Shorn This Way. Like, baby, I was born this way. Shorn this way. I don't know if you can see that at all. Anyways, Sarah's so sleepy. I would put her down, but she might wake up, and I'd rather she keep sleeping. So this, yeah, it's got pops of orange. The blue is so much prettier than the camera's coming up with. I'm sorry. It's just lovely. I don't know what shawl it will become, but it shall be mine. My precious. The problem with me and Caterpillar Green. Okay, this is MCN fingering. Sorry, let me give you some details. 70% superwash merino, 20% cashmere, 10% nylon, 548 meters, which is 599 yards, 170 grams. amazing. That'll make a really nice big shawl. The problem with me and Caterpillar Green yarns is that her yarn is so perfect and desirable. The first time I started knitting with concrete and tulips at Knit City 2 years ago, my mom saw me knitting on it. She loved it and wanted it, and I was like, well, you brought me into this world. Here you go. So I gave her that yarn and shawl in progress, and she finished it. Then I got myself another. I actually knit one all the way through, and then my best friend's like, I really like that, that's amazing, and I gave it to her. So I need to have one for me. I need to actually be selfish, and this one shall be mine. Oh yes. And if you have not heard of Caterpillar Green Yarns, caterpillargreenyarns.com, I believe is how it goes. Just Google it. She's amazing, and I love her. And not only is she an amazing dyer, she's probably one of the nicest people in the whole wide world, which makes it even better. Love it. So that's that. I don't do the whole like making your yarn a donut thing anymore anymore. I've never seen that before, and that's like brand new. It's like, you take a skein and you like fold it and go like this now. Oh, hey, it looks pretty. When I was recording the first time, they all looked so stupid when I was doing that. It's actually really pretty. Oh, okay, now I get it. Never mind. All right, so those are the two big ones that I really wanted, and then there were some extra things that I found that I didn't expect to find. For example, Richard DeVries. I think he's actually based in Vancouver area, but he used to dye for Koigu, and now he's on his own. And the man is a freaking genius. Like, I actually got to meet him, and he was wearing really great sneakers. Actually, it was really funny because the best thing about Knit City is it's big, but not so big that you don't run into people. And so I kept running into Lara and Jenny, and it was amazing. So that didn't work. This is a little mini of some of his like super speckled magical yarn. It's not really doing the colors justice. But this makes the cake. I got a bigger skein that I started knitting pumpkin socks out of, and I can't find them right now because craft fair was insane. So when I find them, I will show them for sure. But this is the mini. I got a couple minis, and thank goodness I got minis because Jenny gave me a little bag of little mini balls of yarn left over, like minis, and then a pattern for her mini sock. And I'm totally obsessed. Like, I just want to knit all the mini socks. If you've not watched her podcast, go watch it because it's just adorable and hilarious. And she's obsessively knitting these mini socks, and now I totally get it because now I want to knit all the mini socks, and these will be a pair of socks. And if anyone wants to send me minis to knit socks, yes, please. I think I'm just gonna do like kind of like what Jenny's doing, a garland, or I don't even care. I don't know what I want to do with them. They're just so magical. I might send them to people as gifts or play with them. I was thinking actually, okay, this sounds really crazy, but I was thinking eventually of making her a Dobby the Elf doll, like a sewn one, and then those could all be Dobby's socks. All of his mismatched, obsessive house elf socks. Just a thought. Harry Potter. I love Harry Potter. Okay, so yeah, I got that, which is really exciting. And then I was lucky enough to get a free ticket to go see Isolde Teague talk, and it was like Friday night. Seriously, this was like Yarny Christmas. I'm not even kidding. And that's when I managed to run into Susan B. Anderson and the Grocery Girls and Jenny and Lara, surprise, surprise, and Caitlin French, and like all the people that I was really hoping I'd run into but wasn't sure exactly how I would get to. They were all at the talk, and so that was really great. And when you walked in, they gave you a freebie, like a little pack. Sweet Georgia gave you a little like taster pack. It's got Bulletproof Sock, which I wanted to try, Superwash Sport, and Superwash Soft yarn, which they'll probably, at least 2 of those will become little mini socks. And my mom is the best and gave me her pack too, so we had blue and green. So much fun! Oh wait, I kind of threw that away really fast and didn't give you a chance to really look at it. La la la. That's my beef with some podcasts. People don't hold up their stuff long enough and like let you actually stare at it and oogle it. Gotta hold it for a little while, even though there's reflectees and terrible lighting. I will hold it so you can see it. And I also got the customary Knit City bag. It's their 5th year anniversary. I have so many freaking project bags. I need another project bag, like I need a hole in the head. But whatever. Oh, when I was binge watching podcasts, you've probably heard of this. I'd never heard this before. Have you ever heard of Sable, where your stash acquisitions beyond life expectancy? I might be at that level. I'm not sure yet, but it's pretty well. No, I'm nowhere near this other podcaster, the Yarn Hoarder Amber. She's amazing, like, but just it's intense. I bet you the grocery girls are at Sable, but that's okay. There's no judgment. There's never too much stash, because if you use it or gift it, like I signed up to do Fiber Share this year, where you can send a package of yarn to a partner somewhere in the world. That, and I also did the Get Your Yarn Wishes Granted, just so that I could turn my stash around a little bit and send on the things that I haven't been using. And I've also been getting some really beautiful things in return, which is really nice. Yeah. Okay, so, and then I also got this from Knit City, which is like it's like t-shirt material. I'm going to crochet baskets and bowls, I think, out of this, because it's really cool and really pretty, and I like it. That was a total impulse buy. I think the only thing that I got that I didn't know what I was going to do with was the yarn ink. I still don't know what I'm going to do with it. I'm trying really hard to know exactly what I'm going to do with stuff before I buy it now, because then it's more purposeful, especially now that I'm buying diapers and various other responsible adult things. I can't really just willy-nilly whimsical buy things now. And then the very last thing that I picked up, literally the last yarn purchase of the day, was this orange. It's like pumpkin colored, and that's pretty accurate, actually. Alpaca yarn. I don't even know what the brand name is. I'll have to put it in the show notes, but if I can find the ball band, and if I can't, then I'll just have to do it later, because I just have to be realistic with the time that I get now. It's like, everyone's like, how do you still knit how do you knit with a baby? I'm like, I knit faster than I ever used to. I am very purposeful. I pick one project and try to actually do it. I'm really lucky. My parents are close, and so they hold the baby and let me knit. And yeah, it's just fast. Like, if you want to do it, even if all you can get is 1 row or 2 rows, just do it. I got this wonderful gift and a card from my friend Buffy, and she said in the card to make sure that you knit every day, even if it's just a row. She has 6 kids, so she gets it. And it just hit me. I was like, that's true. The only thing between me and doing everything I've wanted to do is doing it. So I do it, right? So it's hard to show because I don't want to disturb child, but this is the Amberley shawl by Shannon Cook. I've been admiring it ever since it came out. It's just so gorgeous. And when I had to nurse Sarah at one point while we were there, and I was sitting on this bench, and it was so friendly. Like, people came up and talked to me while I was nursing, which was really nice. And people that had been following the podcast or Instagram or whatever, they came and talked to me, and it was so pleasant. Like, I was afraid, because again, I'm still new to the whole thing. I was afraid people would be like, oh, why is she nursing? And I get so hot. Like, I don't understand those stupid nursing shields. They're like wonderful, I guess, but who wants to eat under a blanket? And when your baby is born in August, it's like sweat and everything. It's like so hot to put that thing over my child. So, I mean, be discreet about it. I don't have to go like topless in order to nurse. It's just, this shirt like lifts up, and then there's like a little, I showed you my side. That's my side. But there's like a cutout underneath, so you can kind of access from the side, and it just covers everything. Like, you don't see anything but a baby. But anyway, so I was nursing, and all these people came up, and they were so nice and talked to me, and I was nursing, and across from me, I saw this orange yarn, and it was like, Grace, take me home. You know you want to. And I realized as I've been going through my stash, I have all this autumn colored yarn because that's usually when I'm like out at retreats or at Knit City is always autumn time. And I'm so seasonal in my love of colors and what I pick for yarn because like I want to knit with Christmas yarn at Christmas time. I want green in the spring. I want fall colors in the fall. I have an awful lot of autumnal yarns, which is a little frustrating because it's not autumn anymore. But anyways, all I wanted to do was knit a pumpkin thing. So we call this the pumpkin latte shawl. My mom does anyways. And it's called the Amberle. Amberle. And the stitches are just beautiful. Like the pattern is just beautiful. And at the bottom, I actually used some hand spun alpaca. And then, I don't know if you probably can't, no, you can see it in the natural light, but there's actually another color of alpaca at the very bottom that my mom brought me home from one of her trips to Edmonton. So it has not been blocked, the ends have not been woven in, but I did this for the Knit City Hangover knit along Cal that Jenny did from Lone Larch Podcast. It's over tomorrow, like literally when I post this, so I'm really sorry you can't join in, but I promise I'll keep you posted on whatever I do decide to join in on. I've decided that my philosophy for this year and for bringing back things is do what makes me happy, and that's it, and do what I can, and then forgive myself if I can't join in on everything. Like my FOMO, I have to fight. My fear of missing out must be fought. So that's I guess that's not just stuff I got, but it's also something I finished. Stuff I finished. I really like that. Stuff I got, stuff I finished, stuff I'm working on. That's so cool. So let's just transition into stuff that I finished. So when I was recovering in the hospital, I had a fairly long recovery. It was actually really funny. We were in the hospital longer than we had actually been in our house. Because my C-section was a very large C-section because she was a very large baby. And because she's a large baby, actually large babies have blood sugar problems, which I didn't know about. And like it wasn't anything huge, it just was low blood sugar. And when you first have your baby, when you have the baby, your milk doesn't come in right away. And I'm so brand new, I've never had a child before, all these different things. For whatever reason, they ended up putting her in the NICU unit. Which was totally okay. It was a little scary, but actually relieving because they were helping me take care of my child in a way that I couldn't. And it gave me some freedom sort of to recover myself because C-section is major abdominal surgery. It is a big deal. Like, it's not a little deal. It is a big deal. And it's hard right off the bat because, you when you're pregnant, you focus so much on getting through pregnancy, having a healthy, wonderful pregnancy, and then you get ready for labor and delivery. But a lot of times it's really easy to skip the step of, okay, once the child comes, what do I need to do? And not that I didn't know at all or I wasn't prepared, but honestly, I remember realizing about a week before we ended up having her, I was like, we haven't really talked about diapers. We haven't really talked about, and we were moving. Oh my gosh, it was crazy. So we were in the hospital for 7 days. 8 days? No, 9 all in from when we went in on the Tuesday morning at 9 to get induced. And then I delivered at 7:28 the Wednesday evening. And then we went home on our 4-year anniversary, our wedding anniversary. That was our present we got sprung from the hospital. So we were there for quite a while. She was in NICU, and then when she got out of NICU, they were worried about her bilirubin levels, which is like jaundice, and she wasn't over any levels, but they put her in that tank, the like reptilian tank with those glow light things that help babies. And anyways, we got sprung free. But while I was there, this is the dangerous part. You're sitting in bed, and because she was in NICU, I'd be like pumping milk to give her milk and surfing Instagram. And Instagram is dangerous. And I had just delivered a baby, and I realized at one point, I was like, I can get myself a present. So I was scoping out Instagram, and there's this one girl, her name is Patchwork Peach. I don't know what her real name is. I've totally forgot. I'm really sorry. I have the most fierce baby brain. It's not even funny. Like I told my husband, I'm like, you have to treat me like I'm a little bit simple. Like you just need to remind me like 4,000 times and like make sure I respond, write things down because I'm constantly forgetting, constantly. Like it's kind of bad. Anyways, I found Patrick Peach had Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice yarn, and I never get my act together in time to get holiday yarns. Like, plus they come out so freaking early. Like, this was August. August 11th or 12th or whatever is when she was selling her Halloween yarn. But I scored a ball of Beetlejuice, 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 and I decided to do Susan B. Anderson's Craftsy class called My First Toe Up Socks. And I've done toe up socks before, but I just wanted to go through with a human being telling me like how I should do it and what's the best way, just like tips and tricks that you get that you can't always, it's not intuitive. So there's an afterthought heel on this thing. Hi, Ava. Kitty Ava's like, why are you talking to your computer again? You guys know my kitty Ava. Hashtag my kitty Ava. Or my Ava kitty. That's what the hashtag is on Instagram. She is wonderful, and she loves baby Sarah, and they are going to be best friends, I hope. Anyways, so I splurged, and honestly, with shipping, this was insane. I don't even want to admit how much money this yarn cost, but it was my present for, having a baby. And the socks are great. They fit really well. I still have not, truthfully, I've been knitting a ton of socks, and I still have not perfected the perfect fit. Like I don't know what I need to do, if I need to increase up at the top. But I'm also not a huge sock wearer, but I just really love knitting them. And I like wearing them at camp for brownies. On the West Coast, it's really great. And actually, wool socks are perfect in my moccasin boots and also in my rubber boots. But I just haven't found the magic fit. I think I need to go through that 16-page pattern for the Fish Lips Kiss heel thing that my friend Maeve, Rar Pounce, she gifted me that a long time ago with that episode. If you guys remember the episode of the Socks of Shame parade where I showed you guys like 8 pairs of socks that I'd started and abandoned or whatever. She kindly gifted me that pattern, and it was just a little intimidating, the 16 pages of it. But I think I'm going to try that this year because I just want to try some more things and find the magic socks. Like I've got it down for Joel. He loves socks. It's my husband. And my stepdad, I've got his down. But for me, it's still not quite how I want my socks to fit. Oh, excuse me, that was rude. I don't know. But they're beautiful and really fun, and I still think they're adorable. And I'm really proud of myself because this was the first thing I managed to knit post-baby. And it really came down to where it was like, sometimes all I would get would be like one color stripe. Or she would be sleeping, and I'd say to myself, okay, let's knit let's knit the black stripe. And then the next time I'd be like, let's knit the white stripe. And just making myself do it. And I'm so proud of these because even though they're goofy Halloween socks, they are just lovely. And I got a little bored at the very end of the second sock and started doing slip stitches. But I kind of like that. It's a little unique. It's very Frankenstein-y fun. Because it was fun. But I'm just so proud because these are like these socks and then this shawl are like the first things I managed to do with her, like, and I'm not gonna, like, I always said to myself when I was pregnant, I didn't want to let her just take over and stop life completely. You have to adjust, you have to change, but you don't have to give up everything. You don't have to give up who you are. And in fact, she will be better for it if I take care of myself and fight to take care of myself, because then if I take care of myself, like self-love and all that, then I can take care of her because I actually have charged batteries and I'm not giving from a place of emptiness that won't really be truly giving. And babies are so intuitive. They can feel it. They know if you're upset, and and so that's what I'm trying really hard to do, is to try to be healthy myself so that I can teach her how to be healthy and teach her how to love herself and take care of herself, and I can take care of her better if I'm not just grouchy and tired and exhausted, you know? So anyways, that's the little tiny rant. So those are the things I've managed to finish, aside from also a ton of little mini socks, which I'll come and show. I just couldn't find them because of the craft fair, especially with the baby, really takes over everything. But at the same time, like my mom always calls it, Mumsy always calls it mummy badges. Like every time I manage to do something, like the first time I was able to go out somewhere with baby, just me by myself, mummy badge. The first time I nursed in public, mummy badge. The first time, knit socks, managed to finish a project, mummy badge. And so like my biggest, most recent mummy badge was my craft fair. I'm still wearing my bracelet. It was literally this weekend. And it was so much fun. It was challenging. And she actually came with me. I put her in the wrap and just wore her. She slept for most of it. But it was challenging. It was difficult. A lot of people were like, how do you even find time? And I said, you know what? If it wasn't for my mom and all the support that she gives me, yeah, I wouldn't be able to. But it was amazing because husband Joel had to go out of town for work. So he was gone for the week. I literally just packed us up and we lived at my mom's place, mom and stepdad's place. And so mom and stepdad, they took care of baby and let me just create. Both together sounds really awful, like create. It's horrible. Create. And it was really fun. And this year I decided I kind of had this idea kind of lolling around in my head, but I wanted to crochet baskets. And so then, because I was doing cowls for a really long time, those circular scarves, I was knitting those and trying to sell them, and they were really popular. Ooh, I'm getting a phone call. I will edit this out. Okay, bye, sweetheart. A few moments later. Okay, so I don't even know where I was. Things that I finished, mommy badges. We were talking about mommy badges. Oh yeah, my craft fair. So I was crocheting all of these really cool baskets. And I don't have one to show you. That's okay. I'll show you later. But my mom was joking that I'm like Jillian Jiggs and her Marvelous Pigs with all my baskets because I was making all these cowls and then there's leftover bits of yarn. What do you do with the leftovers? So I have all of these one-of-a-kind, different color combination crocheted baskets that are kind of fun and funky. They're like a teardrop shape. Just what I wanted to make. And I was just having so much fun making them. It's fun. When you make something that you love, it's really easy to make a bunch. And then mom's like, you should give them all names. But it's like, I'm literally like Jillian Jiggs, wonderful, marvelous, whatever, pigs. If you've not read that book, go read that book. It's so great. I had that book, and then I actually made pigs because it shows you how to do it at the end of the book. It's a great book. I'll post about it. Yeah, so I made it through the craft fair, and really thanks to my mom, because she looked after Sarah. Like, I think on the Sunday, she kept Sarah at home and gave her a bottle and whatever, and then brought her about halfway through the day and subbed me off and then watched the table. So, like, she was watching the baby and then she watched the table so that I could walk around and buy a few things. I actually got some really awesome treasures, which I'd love to show you them all, but again, I don't have them all with me, but I do have this one treasure that I found, and it is this beautiful embroidered necklace. Christmas tree. From a girl named Laura, I think. Oh, baby brain. Anyways, okay. Oh, don't wake up, just keep sleeping. So the craft fair was great, and that's been good. Oh, and then there's a couple other things I wanted to show you in stuff I got that didn't come from Knit City, just came separately. So thanks to Jenny from Lone Larch. This feels like a fangirl post, but it kind of is. Jenny from Lone Larch Podcasts, I'm like, she's just really encouraging. You know when you find somebody that you just feel so connected with and so inspired by? Like, I kind of binge watched her podcast right after Knit City, And so then I understood the mini sock thing that she gave me. And then she was talking about, because she has relatives on Vancouver Island, she came to visit right before Knit City. And so she was talking about this yarn that she got when she was up island in Courtenay. It's a sweater maker yarn. Ah, it's so beautiful. That what looks like red is actually more of like a fuchsia. I'll have to take a picture. Oh, I have a picture on my Instagram. But this is so beautiful. We were driving up island to go to Gold River for Thanksgiving, and Jenny had been talking about, we had to stop like every hour for baby because she does not like traveling in the car. And so as we were stopping, we kind of engineered it so that one of our stops could be where you could stop in and get this from the craft store or the yarn store. And it was hard to find the yarn store. It's like hidden in, anyways. I found it and I bought this just gorgeous yarn. So beautiful. This is like a half skein, 50 grams. Absolutely love it. I can't say enough. I think you can buy it online, and I can't remember how you can buy it online. You can only buy it online, I think, through the yarn store that sells it, because the dyer does not do online specifically. I'll try to link to that, but I have to be realistic. My show notes have to be different. They might not be as detailed. So I really encourage you to like take note of if you hear me say something, and then just ask if I didn't articulate well enough or something. I'm going to try to do show notes, but I really would rather get the podcast up even without show notes, but actually get it up for you. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? You get it. If you're mums, you get it. If you're not mums, you probably get it. You just have to do what you can do and do it to the best of your ability. But sometimes okay is good enough. Does that make sense? Yeah. Anyway, so those are the yarns I got from Sweater Maker. Sweater Maker yarns. She's just this, like, apparently she just kind of drops off batches of yarn every once in a while. So good. I'm so excited to knit with this. I think I might do something in brioche. And embarrassing, okay, remember how I was talking about I'm only buying yarn with a project in mind? That was total impulse and no project in mind. I'm trying. And then my other one that I really wanted to show off was Lena. I was talking about her, A Wee Bit Knitty. She had a podcast and doesn't anymore, but she's from Norway. I still consider her a dear friend of mine. I've been so terrible at keeping in touch with her, but I love her. I think about her so often. She started dyeing yarn. Oh my gosh! And then sold some of it on her Etsy shop. I was late to the party, so there weren't very many colors left when I got there, but I did not care. This is gorgeous. Just a passing by, experiment number 13. It's fingering weight yarn, 75% superwash wool, 25% nylon, 100 grams, and magical. And she also sent a little cupcake stitch marker progress keeper. I really like progress keepers more than I like stitch markers right now. I know that sounds really silly. I want all the progress keepers. So pretty. So that's just gorgeous. I feel like I need to knit socks out of it just because that's like Lena's thing. She knits socks like a boss all the time. Yeah. And it's just so pretty. Either that or a sweater for Squishy. Oh, my phone. And I keep calling my daughter Squishy. I'm afraid that she's going to think her actual name is Squishy. Gotta work on that. Her name is Sarah. Well, Sarah Piper. See, this is the hard part, and I'm sure you guys have all encountered this. It took forever to come up with a name for her, which is amazing. And then beyond that, we had already picked out a name. We were going to call her Anna Piper Cave. But then in the middle of labor, it was like, I know this sounds really silly, but it felt like God was whispering in my ear or in my heart or something. In the hardest part of labor, right during transition, the hardest part, it just was like, Sarah. Her name should be Sarah. And then I remember I labored, and at about 17 or 18 hours, and we were all so exhausted, my midwife said to me, she's like, well, she checked me because I felt like I had to push, okay? Your body tells you different things, right? Like, I felt like I needed to push, but my midwife checked me, and I wasn't quite 10 centimeters yet. And unfortunately, that wasn't quite good enough. Like, if she were smaller, I could probably get away with it. but I wasn't fully dilated. Basically, your body has to open up to be able to have a baby. Just for people that might not know, I'm not trying to sound stupid or talk down to you, but just just in case. So your body has to open up to be able to have this baby, and if it doesn't finish opening up, there could be damage that could be caused. And being that she was a bigger baby, I needed every last little bit of open, and I somehow managed to stall out just under full dilation. And we were all so exhausted. I felt like I had to push, and my midwife said, you know what, you need to rest. And so I had to get an epidural. So I got an epidural, but it was funny because it was like during the hardest part, right before you're ready to push, is like the hardest part of labor. It's just where the contractions come close, like just basically it's like on top of each other. And I remember God just whispered, Sarah, and then it was like I stalled and I had to get epidural and blah, blah, blah. And so I'm laying down with my epidural and finally kind of feeling this relief and this chance to rest and relax. And Joel came up and he was holding my hand and looking in my eye. I feel all like emotional. He's looking in my eyes, and I remember looking at him and I went like this. I was like, come here. And he came close and I just said, what do you think of the name Sarah Piper Cave? And, see? This is another thing that happens when you have a kid. You just get so emotional. I remember him looking at me, and because we had a hard time agreeing on a name, so to find one already was like hard enough. Anyways, he leaned in close, and I remember this moment where it was just so close, and he just said, I love it. And I mean, I said to him, I don't know where this is coming from, but we have to see her. But when we saw her, it was just like, so beautiful. I cry. I'm a crier. I don't think I've ever cried on the podcast before, but, well, there's a new thing for everything. But yeah, so Sarah was her name, and it means princess. I never thought I never thought I destined my child to be a princess, but she is a prince. She's so precious. She's just such a miracle. We tried for, I mean, it's not a long time, but I didn't know how it would work. I didn't know if I would be able to have a baby. I don't know. So what we did is, instead of trying, we decided to just pull the goalie. So we just thought we'll stop anything that will stop her from coming, or stop us from getting pregnant, but we're not gonna try, because I was afraid that the minute we started trying, I would get all stressed out and it wouldn't happen. So it took 5 months. And now that I know more, actually after I got pregnant, I did some more reading, and that's when I realized how much of a miracle it actually is to get pregnant. A lot of things have to align for you to be able to get pregnant. And anyways, I'll tell you all those stories later, how I told Joel that I was pregnant and all those things. December 7th was the day I found out, and I'll never forget it. And it's almost a year since I found out I was pregnant. And my whole life changed. Anyways, but yeah, so Sarah, that's the story of how she got her name. It's so funny, and now there's this synchronicity, so I'm starting to notice all the people in my life named Sarah. And actually, I had a brownie named Sarah. That was the hard part about naming her. There was a little kid, because I'm a brownie leader, there was a little brownie attached to every single name, and unfortunately, good or bad, yeah, so that was difficult. Now I understand what my mom went through when she tried to name me, because she's a teacher, and she had a little girl attached to every name, and that's how I ended up with Grace, which I'm so thankful for. So, okay, we went over stuff I got, stuff I made. I don't really have to show you, I don't know where, everything's chaotic from the craft fair still. So the stuff I'm working on is, I'm learning brioche. Actually, for my birthday, I got a present of the gift of going to an actual class at my local yarn shop, the Beehive Wool Shop, to learn how to brioche. And I'm so glad I'm learning from a human being, because holy cripes, brioche is not easy. It's awesome. And once you get the rhythm, then it's easy. Once you do it, but just learning it, I'm so glad I'm learning it from a human being that's giving me the tips and tricks. And I've already learned a new cast on, new cast off, single color brioche, double color, two color brioche, and increases and decreases. So I've done 2 classes so far. I have 1 more class next Saturday. Totally the best. It's so much fun. And my instructor, Bonnie, there's a picture of her on my Instagram feed with the blue hair. She's awesome. I feel like her and Stephen West would be like BFFs forever because they are just, she's amazing. But yeah, so I'm learning brioche, and I've been working on that. I've been playing around with Quince and Company yarn for that. I've also been working on the pumpkin socks, which I'll show you a picture of. I've cast on a shawl with my friend Julie. We've been actually encouraging each other quite a lot to knit. I love her. She's so encouraging. If you ever need a good pep talk, just like message Julie, Inky077. She'll give you a pep talk and then some, and just make you feel great about life. Like, she's like my kindred spirit, and it stinks that she lives in Martha's Vineyard because that's way too far away. But it's awesome that she lives there because now I can go to Martha's Vineyard and visit. It feels like home away from home. But it stinks because she's too far away, and I wish we could hang out all the time. I think we're going to try a virtual knit night. I think it has to happen. Just has to happen. Okay. And yeah, so pumpkin socks. There's a shawl. We started knitting. It was a comfort shawl after the recent election. I'm only in Canada, I know, but I still care. It still affects me, and it matters, and that's all I'm going to say about that. But we, what is it? Elizabeth Zimmerman says, knit on in all, through all crisis and whatever. And so we're knitting on. We cast on a shawl to kind of calm ourselves down. And then we're going to participate in the Christmas Eve cast on. We got matching yarn, and we're going to send each other little care packages with handmade project bags and fun things. And our theme is a Dickens Christmas. Oh, shh, it's okay. So that's going to happen. But you know what? It's been a really, the podcast is long, again, as usual, whatever, it's fine. I'll have other things to show you next week. I will have things of course I'll have things to tell you next week. Squishy will probably be with me. Sarah, you're okay. Did you have a good nap? That was a good nap. Mom was talking the whole time. And then I will do my story reading as well, which, that'll happen. I'm not exactly sure when, but it'll happen. And I think that's it for this week. Thank you for coming and joining with me. Thank you for coming back. Thank you for listening to me talk. If you had to do it in segments, I don't blame you. I'm so excited to get back to sharing what inspires me in my life, sharing what I'm up to, just bringing back the community and encouragement and wonderful things that just make life so nice. Knitters are the best, and even crochet crafters, people are just wonderful, and I'm so excited to just get back to it, my lovely Junipers. I missed you. I've missed you so much, and oh, you're okay, Squish. I should probably let you go before my little one loses her mind. But this is Sarah, 16 weeks old. Sarah. She's amazing, and we love her, and I can't imagine life without her anymore. So what do I always say at the end? Thanks for stopping by. I miss you already. I feel like there's something. I can't remember anymore. Oh, it's been too long. But I will see you next week. And I miss you already. Goodbye.